So today starts our second unit on inequalities. You're going to notice that they're going to start getting a little more difficult. All right. And some similarities here with these questions and what you've seen on two-step equations. All right. There's a really strong similarity with how we solve them. Okay, so we're going to do number 1 together. 6y minus 5 is greater than or equal to 7. Well, what it says in this section is to match the inequality with its graph. Well, in order to be able to tell what the graph is supposed to show, we actually have to come up with the solution first. Okay, so we have here a two-step inequality that I would solve the same way that I would solve a two-step equation. Can someone raise their hand and tell me, what would I do first? What would I do first? 2 people? Anybody else? What would I do first? Here, to solve for y. What would I do? Faith? Yeah, you need to move what's not connected to the variable. Okay, so the addition and the subtraction come first. Now bring down the rest. 6y is now greater than or equal to what? 12. Oh, it's nice how that works out, right? Because now what do I do? What's my last step, Jeremiah? Divide by what? Divide by 6 both sides. And y is greater than or equal to 2. So based on that solution, does that solution match with graph A, B, or C? Don't say it out loud yet. Everybody look. Okay? Which graph does that solution match with? Don't say it yet. I want everybody to look and write your answer on your paper. Okay, Ashley, which one does it match with? Which graph? Look at the worksheet. Okay, I can tell you're not paying attention. All right, Kayla? C. It matches with graph C. Very good. Okay, all right, so now you're going to do numbers 2 and 3 on your own for homework. So circle them on your worksheet. Circle numbers 2 and 3 on your worksheet. On your worksheet. Circle them on your worksheet. Okay, all right, those are your homework questions. All right, so now let's go to number 4. Number 4 says 3x minus 4 is less than 2. And in this section, we're going to solve the inequality and graph the solution. We're going to do 3, and then you're going to do 3 for your homework. Okay? So this is 1. Okay? Let's go ahead and do this. 3x minus 4 is less than 2. Solve and graph. Go ahead and do that. All right, Ashlyn, what do you do first? Yes, add 4 to both sides. Very good. 3x is less than 6. Divide both sides by 3, and x is less than 2. Open dot on the 2, arrow going left. Who got that right? Okay, pretty much everyone. Great job, guys. All right, so now we're going to do number 6. Okay, what do you notice as you're writing number 6 down? What do you notice about number 6 that might be different from the first 2 that you solved, Aaliyah?
The negative 6. They're written backwards, but it's also negative.
Yeah, very good. So there's a negative there out front with the negative 6. And when she says it's written backwards, what does she mean by that? What does she mean by it? Just tell me. The variable comes second, right? Now, we don't like that because that's like reading backwards. So reading backwards is kind of difficult. So we can rewrite that. You can even do that. As you're copying down the original problem, you can go ahead and just rewrite it. But here's what you need to make sure of, guys. You have to make sure, you see how the inequality is pointing towards or closed off towards the y? You see that? When you switch it around, keep this order the same. The 9 minus 5y stays in the same exact order, okay? And it still needs to be pointing towards the y. So I write 9 minus 5y. I don't change the order at all. And then I still make sure, and when I say pointing towards, that means less than or equal to negative 6. That looks a little better, doesn't it? Okay. All right, so now I still need to follow my steps. I want to give you guys about 30 seconds just to start working through this on your own. But Aaliyah was right when she pointed out that there are some negatives here that are going to affect the way that I solve this problem. Okay, let me ask you this, guys. Is 9 positive or negative? Look at the 9. What sign is in front of the 9? A positive, because there's nothing there. So how do I get rid of a positive 9 and move it? You subtract it. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people today adding. Why? Because there's a negative here. Well, that's connected to the 5y. 9 is positive. You have to subtract it. So negative 6 minus 9. Okay, but before we do that, what would I bring down on the left side of this equation? What do I bring down? 5y or negative 5y? Negative 5y. That's where the negative is connected. It's in front of the 5y. That's important. That's going to change something. Negative 6 minus 9 is what? What's negative 6 minus 9? Negative 15. All right, you see how these negatives can really start messing you up? Okay, so now what am I going to do to both sides to solve this? Nolan, what am I going to do here now to solve for y? Divide both sides by negative 5. Divide both sides by negative 5. So what is my answer, Haley? Why did she switch it? It was less than or equal to. Why does she say greater than? And she is correct. Aaliyah?
Because of the negative 5y.
Yes, you divided by a negative. Multiplication and division. When a negative is connected to y, flips the inequality. And now I can graph my solution accurately with a closed dot going right. Okay? All right, let's look at number 8. Let's look at number 8. If you did that wrong on 6, you need to fix it. Okay? Now, we're going to start number 8, guys. Everybody in here should be able to get through the first step. And then most of you should know what to do to get k by itself. So let's go ahead and work through this. And we'll try to correct any problems that we're seeing. Jakari, what do I do first? Before I do anything else, what do I need to do first? Yes, you always add and subtract first. You subtract 6 from both sides. And then rewrite it. K over 3 is less than 1. K over 3 is less than 1. Armani, what am I going to do now? To get k by itself, what can I do? Very good. I can do the reciprocal, the inverse. Multiply by 3. Okay? And here's what I saw. This is a common mistake that I saw in the test. I saw for the answer, k is less than 1. What did they forget to do? Multiply the other side by 3. Okay, it was a pretty common mistake. And when I say common, maybe 10-ish people total, which I would say common for a test. All right, so instead of that less than 1, I have to multiply the other side by 3, and k is less than 3, and now I can graph my solution with an open dot and an arrow going left. So you always add and subtract first. Then you multiply and divide in your second step. All right, did anybody get that right before I did? Anybody get that right? Or you see where you went wrong now? Okay. All right, so now let's go on to number 10. Okay, so in this section, you're going to do 5, 7, and 9. Okay, in this section, go ahead and circle them on your worksheet. 5, 7, and 9 are your homework problems. 5, 7, and 9. All right, now let's do number 10. Number 10 should look familiar to you because in the last unit, we solved these kinds of problems, except it was an equation. Remember, it was even a section on your test, you guys remember? Where you have variables on either side in the last unit was an equation. In this unit, it's going to be an inequality. You have variables on both sides. So what did I tell you to do first? It's the same thing you're going to do on inequalities. What do you do first, Sam?
Do the opposite of the thing of the variable, right? And then you do
How do you know which one to move? You got to move one, right? You have to get them to the same side. So how do you know which one to move? Technically, you can move either. But do I want to add 4n over to the right side, or do I want to add 5n over to the left side? What do you think? What do you think? Why would I want to add 5n? Because it's the smaller value. When you pick the smaller value, okay, and remember guys, you need this to completely cancel out. How do you get it to cancel out? You must add the opposite. I see so many people just adding 5. Can you add negative 5n plus 5? Those are not like terms. That's not going to cancel anything. Okay, that's only going to make it more complicated and wrong. Okay, let me just add that part. It's wrong. You have to add the opposite. Okay, so you've got to have the n in there. Okay, and now it cancels out, and now add 5n to the other side. Okay, so if you moved your variable to the left side, what's going to happen to your numbers? Your numbers move to the right side. It's that swing motion that we talked about. So how could I get 5 to cancel to the other side? Come on, guys. Participate. Let's go. Subtract 5 from both sides. All right? I can tell. Those of you who are zoning me out, I can tell. All right? I need you guys paying attention. Subtract 5 from both sides. Negative 4 plus 5. All right? So now my 5's canceled. My n's canceled. Now let's simplify what's in the middle. What's negative 4 plus 5? 1n is less than, what's 8 minus 5? 3. And you do not have to graph your solutions in this section. That's it. Okay? It does not say to graph them. 1n is less than 3, and I'm done. All right? So I know it's Monday, and we're kind of tired, and maybe, lost a little bit over the weekend as far as remembering how to do this, but we're getting back to it now. All right, number 11. 5k minus 7 is greater than or equal to 5k plus 8. All right, go ahead and start solving this one. All right, we need to get our k's on one side of the inequality. All right, so that's what we're deciding what to do. Which one would I subtract, guys? Which one would I subtract, Robbie? It doesn't matter, does it? Because they're both the same value, 5k. So what happens, I need you to still show this step, okay? What happens when you try to subtract 5k to the other side? It just cancels out. So we all agree this is gone and this is gone. What's left? Negative 7 is greater than or equal to 8. You need to write what's left. Is that a true statement? Is that true? Is negative 7 greater than or equal to 8? No. So because that is not a true statement, there will never be a value for k that can make that solution true. My answer is no solution. Okay, so let me ask you this. What if my k's had canceled and what was left was true? What if it was true? What if it said like 9 is greater than, what did you say? Infinite solution. Now, it doesn't matter what value k is, my answer will always be true. So it's infinite solutions. You see that? Okay. All right, I want you to do number 14. Okay, I'm going to get you through step 1, but I think a lot of you are going to be able to do step 1 on your own. Okay, so I want to give you a few seconds so everybody's working. Try to figure out, what do I mean by step 1? There's something here in number 14 that I haven't seen yet in the other problems that I've worked. Okay, but something that you should be familiar with. There's something we need to do first before we can start moving any variables to the other side. Kendall, do you see anything that you would want to do first? Excuse me, sorry. Yes, so what can you do with that? Yes, okay, so she caught on the same side of the inequality, okay, there's W's that I can combine. I can actually just subtract them together because they're on the same side. What is 9 minus 4? 5W. Plus 6 is greater than or equal to 1 plus 5W. All right, go ahead and finish solving now. Go ahead and finish solving this one. Raise your hand when you have the answer. I want to come check. Okay, so what do I do first, Jakari? What do I do first? Subtract not just the 5, but the 5W. Uh-oh. What happens when I try to subtract 5W from the other side? They cancel out. That's not a part of your solution at all. Bring down the numbers now. All right, so your 5W's cancel. 6 is greater than or equal to 1. What is your answer? Why does she say infinite? How do you know that it's infinite solutions and not no solution? Faith? How did you know it was infinite? How did you know it was infinite, Leah? The statement is true. Is 6 greater than 1? Yes, that statement is true. So because it's true, it's infinite solution. It does not matter what the value for W is, okay? Because 6 is greater than 1, it's going to be infinite solution. You literally can plug in any number you want for W. All right, how are we doing? Okay, we're going to do, we're going to stop there. Okay, we are going to do like 2 more problems from this worksheet tomorrow, but we're going to go ahead and stop there. So we need to recap now what problems you have for homework. Okay, so your homework problems are going to be numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12. And you're going to stop there. Okay? These are your 6 problems for homework tonight. 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 12. Tomorrow we're going to work on distributive property, and we're going to do number 18. Okay? And that's it for today's lesson.